This is one of the actual craziest stories that I've heard in a very, very, very long time. The title by this says she married the man who unalived her boyfriend, and then he ended up unaliving her some years later. And it's just one of the craziest stories. Just imagine you marry your boyfriend's killer.
He should be considered armed and highly dangerous.
This is the story of Edwina Brown, a 36-year-old wife who was shot and killed by her beloved husband, Danny Maurice Brown, age 37, in their home. Danny had hired some men to kill Edwina 11 years prior along with her then boyfriend when she broke up with him to date someone else, but fortunately for her, she survived, but her boyfriend did not. For some,
and she bad too. Look at that. She's beautiful. It's crazy, man.
For her, she survived, but her boyfriend did not. For some unknown reason, Edwina would end up marrying Danny just 2 weeks after the failed assassination attempt, even though her boyfriend at the time died from the assassination.
It was a setup. It had to have been a setup. It had to have been a setup. That just doesn't even make sense. How do you marry and get with somebody 2 weeks after, dude, and you got hit too? That was a setup the whole time.
This is your man.
Yes.
Look at the screen.
That's mine. And
that's what you're going to settle for.
I'm going to stick beside him.
What could have made her marry the person who ordered a hit on her and her boyfriend? Hello and welcome to Twisted Crimes. Subscribe and hit the like button for more stories.
What?
And let me just say this. The next time I catch y'all viewing my videos and not liking my videos, we gonna have a problem. I see y'all viewing and not liking. I don't like that. Do better. Okay, bye.
This story will be taking us to Little Rock, Arkansas. As Arkansas's capital city, Little Rock is renowned for its charming hospitality, history, and culture. The overall crime rate in Little Rock is 209% higher than the national average. Specifically, there were 3,694 violent crimes reported in Little Rock. Your chance of being a victim of murder in the Little Rock area may be as high as 1 in 7,435. Edwina Brown, age 36, was born in Little Rock, Arkansas. She went to John McClellan High.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? It's your baby. Hey, check it. Word on the street. You pressure. Now apply. God did you? Hey, I'm just a messenger.
She worked as a customer service advocate at Verizon. Was a cool lady who liked to be funny.
Who she think she is? Pressure, flexer, who gon' check her? Nobody. Tester, blesser.
Dang.
Make you
she got his.
Whoa, brother. Whoa. Now, you got too much dip on your chip.
She had a daughter who she was really close with.
Having a daughter is God's way of saying, here. I thought you could use a lifelong friend.
Oh, it's a son.
Edwina was active on social media.
If I say, damn, she a lame ass loser ass bitch, and you say, not too much, that's my cousin. Your cousin is a lame ass loser ass bitch. That's not changing nothing. I'm saying sorry for you.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? As a token of my appreciation for all the love, all the support, like honestly, we've been going crazy. I honestly want to give back. And let's just say I got a little something for y'all. But in order for you to get that little something, all you need to do is like this video and drop your Cash App tag down below in the comment section. It's that simple, but you have to do that in order to win. It's just a way of me showing my love and support back to you all. So let's run it up, man. And I promise you, you don't want to miss out on this.
If you come to me and tell me what somebody else said, I'm gonna stop fooling with you right then and there. Cause what you say, don't tell me what they said. I want to know what you said. What you say, cause you should have went off on it.
She was always posting and always making happy and silly videos. Getting into what really happened to Edwina. Sometimes around 2012, Edwina dated someone by the name of Danny Brown, age 37.
Man, you too old to be crashing out, bro. Like that's a mature age to not crash out. You know what I'm saying? Like you know about life. Dang.
was not the best of relationships, so she decided to break up with him for someone else. Edwina then started to date Daniel Hill.
Oh, I love you like I've never ever loved somebody. I'll give you things you didn't even know you wanted. Don't tell me that it's not enough. My time is up, you're over us. 'Cause I think I might do anything for you if you just let me.
She loved him and they were very happy. But unknown to her, Danny was jealous of her new relationship. Due to this, Danny hired 2 men to kill both Edwina and Daniel. Danny told the hitmen to hit both of them, blow the bitch's head off, and that he didn't care how it was done. Danny's only other instruction was not to hurt their kids, which they have together. Edwina Martin and 22-year-old Daniel Hill were coming home to their apartment on Green Mountain Drive when things turned terribly violent. They were ambushed by 2 men in front of their apartment and were both shot. Edwina was shot in the shoulder and she survived the incident, but unfortunately Daniel was not so lucky. He died from his injuries. According to police, she survived the ambush with 1 gunshot to the chest and another in the hip. Police asked the public for help on the case and they got lucky. They ended up arresting a Little Rock man in connection with a shooting and murder. Quentin Bernard Jones was charged with first-degree murder and criminal attempt to commit murder in the first degree. The second shooter was also arrested. One of the attackers told police that Brown had put him up to the ambush a month earlier. They both implicated Danny in the shooting and they were both sent away to prison. A day before Danny's trial, a woman's refusal to cooperate with authorities.
So how didn't he get no murder for hire charges? That's crazy. How didn't he get no murder for hire charges, bro?
Authorities led prosecutors to drop capital murder charges against him, so he was let off the hook and he never went to jail for the killing of Daniel. One of the attackers was sentenced to 55 years in prison and the other sent to life. This is where the case gets twisted. Just 2 weeks after she got hit but survived, just 2 weeks after her boyfriend Daniel died at the hands of Danny, she went ahead to marry Danny Brown.
This is your man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at the screen.
That's mine. And
that's what you're going to settle for.
I'm gonna stick beside him.
That was a shocker to friends and family members. It was not really making sense why anyone will marry someone who just put out a hit on them. Danny and Edwina put Daniel behind them and lived together for over 10 years before Danny would strike again.
So what it sound like is that they had kids before. She moved on, dated another dude, and he was jealous and tried to unalive them both and said, unalive them, but keep my kids. So you know how sick you gotta be to take the mother of your kids away from them. To take your kid's mother away from them. You know how sick in the head you gotta be. So for her to get back with him, rest in peace. You know, and I ain't trying to sound like it was deservable or nothing like that, but that just don't make sense. If I'm thinking in my head, my baby daddy tried to unalive me, I'm finna go back to him. Unless she just felt obligated to.
Dance a little whole something.
I got you.
Dance a little whole something.
I got you. Mr. All Hundreds, you know what I'm saying? Mr. Make It Rain. Mr. Too Much Money.
Esau.
You doing this shit too long.
Ronell, don't come on here with no jokes.
Who is that?
Ronell, he working at Verizon, but he a comedian.
2 weeks prior to the actual date of this new incident, Edwina was indicted on federal child pornography and extortion charges. On March 27th.
What? What? Hold on. Bro, that can't be real, bro. That can't be real. Here I am feeling bad for her. That is outrageous.
Over 10 years after the Daniel incident, the couple were involved in an argument which made Danny lose it once again, making him shoot and kill Edwina during the argument. He then fled the scene of the crime. Police identified Brown as the lead suspect after they found his wife shot to death in their home at 4704 Fairley Drive on the evening of March 27th. He was declared a very dangerous criminal on the loose.
He should be considered armed and highly dangerous.
On March 27th, around 4 in the afternoon, police say Danny Brown went to his estranged wife's house on Fairley Drive in Little Rock.
The information we have is that Danny Brown entered the house. I guess maybe an argument ensued. He allegedly shot his wife, and she later succumbed to those injuries at a nearby hospital.
It's been over a week since that happened, and police are looking to get Brown behind bars, including the U.S. Marshal's office, who has been asked to help.
Well, of course, we want to do this as safely as possible. We don't want anyone to get hurt, including Danny Brown. Preferably, we'd rather Danny Brown just turn himself in, do the right thing.
Police have gotten close to arresting him, but they say he's made it clear he will not be taken in quietly.
One of our biggest tips, I guess, came from Danny Brown himself. He actually called the Little Rock Police Department, gave a statement to them, and then made the statement that he would basically either harm himself or harm others if he was ever cornered by, anyone, especially law enforcement.
If you see Danny Brown or know where he is, police ask that you not approach him because he is considered armed and dangerous.
What? So they don't have him? He's not even, bro, this is crazy. Let me watch what I say. I'm over here talking, and this nigga is still free.
You should call the U.S. Marshal's office instead.
And we'll take it from there.
And Ashley's with us now on set. Ashley, I know you've done a lot of research on this case today. How far are we getting? Do we know anything about this suspect?
Karen, it's still a process. We're still working to confirm a lot, but what we do know is there are possible cases against Mr. Brown right now, possibly out of state, so we're still working to confirm that and make sure that we know everything we can before we report it.
Absolutely.
Sometimes after the crimes, U.S. Marshals arrested Danny somewhere in Dallas.
Okay.
He was taken into custody,
I'm about to say.
And we're expecting him to be extradited here in the next day or so, said Mark Edwards, a spokesman for the Little Rock Police Department.
Tonight at 6, a man Little Rock police called armed and dangerous is in custody after weeks on the run.
Danny Brown was arrested by U.S. Marshals at an apartment complex in Dallas, Texas. Brown is accused of going to his estranged wife's house on March 27th, where he shot and killed her. Marshals tracked Brown to a Dallas apartment over the weekend.
When they got there, Brown attempted to jump off the balcony, but then saw more officers and law enforcement on the ground. A short time later, he surrendered to police. He'll now be extradited back here to Arkansas.
Police charged Danny Maurice Brown with capital murder in connection to the March slaying of his wife, Edwina Brown. Danny, who isn't new to the law, was charged as an adult in an incident from when he was 17 and accepted a 5-year prison sentence according to previous records. Danny remains in jail as at the time of making this video. We do hope justice is served. Police charged Danny Maurice Brown with capital murder in connection to the March slaying of his wife, Edwina Brown. Danny, who isn't new to the law, was charged as an adult in an incident from when he was 17 and accepted a 5-year prison sentence according to previous records. Danny remains in jail as at the time of making this video. We do hope justice is served in this case. Our sincere condolences to the friends and families of Edwina Brown. May Edwina's memory be a blessing for her family and for all who knew her, and may her life and death be an inspiration and a turning point towards justice and increased protection for domestic abuse survivors. Please stay safe out there and see you guys in the next video.